spoken, we started on our getting our way. We also talked about getting ready to get your way. So today we commence, and in this series of my talks, getting your way, today I'm going to talk about the thing, and that is the most important, essential thing that's called persuasion. Persuasion is the process. Getting your way is the outcome. My friend, remember, the prime strategy for getting your way is implementing a persuasion process that leads to a positive outcome. The two-word secret of how to be persuasive and how to implement persuasion strategies is manipulation free. Absolutely. I feel any kind of manipulations used to pursue for persuasion, for convincing people of your idea or your point of view, it's not going to last. You are bound to make a very short lived impact, temporary impact, and it's going to vanish the moment your communication is over. Manipulated persuasion, my friend, is short lived. The persuasion exists when it lasts beyond the moment. You watch all these channels when there's a whole lot of sermons given by Babas and spiritual leaders to the people. There, you see the congregation and gathering, far too many people sitting. But it lasts only till the time they are preaching or they are talking. The moment the talk is over, everybody goes its way and back to their normal treacherous life. They just forget. Because I think it's a failure of the preachers or the talkers or those religious heads or babas, whosoever it is, that they cannot persuade the congregation to last the idea after the moment, beyond that moment of talk. My friend, persuasion is nothing, I say, is got many forms. It can be expressed in many ways. I feel that persuasion is a science. You can learn to persuade. You can learn the best ways to persuade in each given situation of your business life, your professional lives, wherever, whatever it is, your sales life, and of course in your personal life. My friend, persuasion is an art. Never crossing the line, I feel. Never crossing the line too pushy. You cannot persuade anybody by forceful means of forcing somebody to accept your point of view. Any kind of forceful application is going to fail. It's showing reserve. It's showing poise. In short, I would say, keeping your tone, tenor calm and cool all the time, every time, during the process of persuasion. It's got a great effect. Persuasion is excellent questioning skill, beyond excellent communication skill, I would say. It's getting the other person to clarify what you want in their mind, rather than tell them this is why that happened, or ask, what do you think this happened, or what made this happen. It's subtle, my friend, but powerful difference. Persuasion is compromise. Once there is some give and take, often persuasion it become effective and easier if there is some give and take. In order to get to your way, you got to accept his or her point of view also. Make it a balance, and you'll be able to understand the effectivity of the persuasion. And that's why I say persuasion is sometimes a compromise. Persuasion is asking questions that clarify the situation, asking for elaborations, my friend, understanding, and why will lead you to harmony. That harmony will permit open-minded dialogues, discussion. You should have full allowance for discussion, for questioning, for elaboration, and so that there is a perfect understanding. Persuasion is asking questions and clarifying the situation. I also feel that persuasion is excellent listening skill. Listening is one of the most difficult elements of persuasion because it requires patience. And we generally run out of it, or we don't have. The two-word secret of patience and listening is not shut up. It's take notes. Taking notes shows respect and eliminates all kinds of miscommunication, my friend. Therefore, I feel that persuasion is an excellent listening skill. Persuasion is also getting the other guy to convince himself or herself. If you question, listen, write it down and question again for clarification. Your answers and your point of view will become obvious. Persuasion is also preparation. Gathering the right information, creating the right question, uncovering the right hot buttons, and then acting on them. That is all about the preparation. And I also say that persuasion is victory. Persuasion is the science by which you get your way. It's not just getting your way, it's persuading with harmony and getting everyone to agree with your point of view or your idea. It's your getting your way without the other guy feeling like he or she is lost. No. That's why persuasion, I feel, is a victory. And also, finally, I will add that persuasion is hearing what I just said at these points about the persuasion, my talk, not once, listening my talk, this video many times, and putting those elements I have just talked into action. My friend, persuasion is a process, as I said it in the beginning. And getting your way is the outcome. Try this process as a first step in getting your way. Thank you very much.